Hello my friends, Ken Pickard here, the Network Dad, and yes, I'm wearing a jacket. Even in California it can get a little cold, but anyway, today we're going to be talking about tribes and what does it mean to be in a tribe? What are some of the benefits of tribes? What is a tribe and what is content syndication, and how did you guys get your tribe together? So I'm going to cover all that, but first I want to talk a little bit about what tribes is. Another word that people may know is a mastermind group or community or a small circle, an inner circle of friends, an alliance if you will. Another word people throw out there is blogging alliance, another popular term. You can start to Google these terms and see more and more hits all the time. Tribes is definitely where it's at. We're back to communities. We're back to relationships. We're back to giving. We're back to all kinds of things that help each other as a team, help each other grow and to benefit. Again, the marketing concept of this is huge. And we're going to say this over and over, and you're going to hear so many times and so many people say you can market by yourself or you can market a group of people and get that synergy, that market alliance back to you 5, 10, 15 fold. So first I'm going to start off with the story. How we got started in our tribe. Well, what I needed to do was create a blog. So I went around and I looked at several different blogs. Earlier this summer, I needed to have a blog. I've been putting it off for 3 years. People say, you got to get a blog, got to get your information out there. And I thought, okay, fine, I'll finally do it. And I looked around there and I was a little nervous about starting a blog. I'm like, what am I going to say? How often do I have to keep one up? Is it technically difficult? I saw some huge blogs that were awesome, all full of buttons and widgets and all kinds of stuff, going, how in the world am I going to do that? But then something interesting happened. I saw Katie Freiling launch her blog, and it was more of a personal connection and more of not so much banner ads and all these widgets and gadgets, but there was a few, but for a specific reason. And I saw this come and go, and I'm like, oh, that's amazing. And then I saw a few other people do it, so I'm like, okay, fine, I'm going to get a blog. So earlier this summer I did. I looked around and I saw dozens of different blogs, some that I liked and some that I didn't, and I started to dawn on me, boy, some of these are kind of sad. They were lonely. There was like no energy. There was no value. And a lot of times there was nobody home. It was kind of like you knock on the door and it's kind of like you hope to see something happening. There was nothing. So I'm like, okay, so those are new blogs. But well, what happens to my blog if I'm going to have a new blog like everybody else? Who am I going to get to come look at it? How do I market it? All these things. And I started doubting that I could even do this. And then I realized that, well, maybe they're just not syndicating. They're just not telling people about it. So I kept looking and I found what I liked and what I didn't like. So I had my blog created, and at the same time I was thinking, well, wouldn't it be great if a few people got together and just kind of commented on each other's blogs and maybe use that retweet meme and kind of retweet each other once in a while and kind of create an alliance, so to speak, or a mastermind or a blogging alliance. Hence now we have a tribe. So I reached out to a few people and everybody loved the concept. I reached out to about 8 people because I didn't want a big group. I just wanted a few people I started following, and I started looking at what they're doing and what they're commenting about, what their blog's about, and I found some people in my niche, and everybody liked the concept. Out of 8 people, 2 people kind of stuck with it and actually seeked out more information. I'm like, well, how do we do this? How do we get started? I'm like, well, let's just kind of follow each other. But we want to do more than just the retweet that everybody does. We want to do more than just the simple comments. We want to have a little more value to our tribe. So one person brought in another person. We brought in Kary.wmv, who was really launching his blog and getting more information out there. And then he brought in Mike File, who was launching his blog at the same time. And I saw John Alfredson, who was extremely excited about the concept of sharing and totally took to it right away. And so he was on Twitter. So through social media, I found my tribe. Through social media around the world, we are not connected in any other way except online. I have never seen these people. I've talked to them tons of time on Skype and on the phone and emails and stuff since then. And we will actually meet up someday early next year. But the social network is just incredible on how you can go find people and be able to find people in your niche and find people that you like. You can go visit their home, their blog, and see what they're all about. And if they're starting and if they're on the same level as you, then you can connect with them. And then you can kind of say, hey, I have some value, you have some value, let's see what we can do with this. Well, what we've done since then, some of the benefits of having a tribe is for exposure, group exposure. It's like this. I put in an hour a week or so, maybe a little bit more, onto everybody's blog, everybody's Facebook, everybody's Twitter, and then I get that turned back to me 5-fold. I get 5 hours of marketing back to me. What is the reach on that? Can you really grasp this? With my tribe, we have about a 65, almost 75,000 followers on Twitter. Well, that's great. But what if just one or two of those people that we put out a tweet about retweets it? And then what if one or two of their followers retweets it? What is the impact a tweet could have, or a Facebook post could have? Literally millions. And I'm going to prove it in a second. The next benefit that we have with a tribe is you can create like joint venture deals, which is what we did. We now have a Tribe Mastery Intensive, a program that the 5 of us have put together that we have actually rolled out and actually now have our first product online. It is incredible the opportunity that this can happen. This would have not been even possible if I tried to do it all myself. You're talking about a sales page, a marketing funnel, a landing page, the opt-in box, the widgets, the PayPal account. Yes, I could have done it eventually, but we built the sales page in a week. We put the information together in about 2 weeks. So in about a month or so, we were talking about this, hitting it around, but in about a month, we had this fully customized program ready to go, and we actually had almost 200 people opt in to be able to watch this program. So this is what you're going to hear more about as well. One member of my tribe, Kary.wmv, he talks about in one of the modules is about blogging. So he brings all his value added blogging information, everything that he's done over the last 7 or 8 months on blogs, or actually about 4 or 5 months. He brings that to the table. He talks all about that in Module 1. In Module 2, I talk about what tribes is and what about content syndication. And I have 12 or 13 steps on how to syndicate and add social proof to each of my tribe members. That's an incredible opportunity, and we'll cover more of that later as well. And you're going to hear from some other people down on this page. Also, then we have Mike File, Master of Ceremony for Facebook. He talks about all the different strategies you can use for Facebook. Some crazy things that we're doing with our fan pages that is getting rapid exposure that I just couldn't begin to be able to tell you about. And also some great strategies on how to use Facebook the right way, from commenting, from finding friends. And what do you do after you find friends? And what's the takeaway from that? And then how do you really market on Facebook? And then Dr. John Alfredson, the master tweeter himself with over 25,000 followers in less than a year, the 3rd highest tweeter in Sweden. This guy knows a lot, and he starts with relationships first. That is so important. So he brings that to the table. And then Nick Logan, our newest tribe member, brings a wealth of information on JV deals and partnerships and syndication and content. What is the right content that you need to have for your blog post? What's the right ingredients and formula that you need to have in creating your blog post so that everybody can retweet it? Because it's great to have a lot of people to retweet you and to syndicate you, but if you don't have decent content, it kind of looks kind of lame. Just hate to say it, but that's what it is. So that's an overview of what our tribe is. There's just some benefits. The JV deal is one of them. Massive exposure is another one. And the story I was going to tell you about, it's about one of the tweets or one of the posts that Kary did. He had 78 people retweet his post. Now you got to think about that for a second. For somebody on a celebrity status, that's probably okay. But for somebody who's had a blog for just short of 4 or 5 months, to get 78 people to syndicate, or actually several people to syndicate his post enough times so 78 people came back and retweeted it, is huge. What's that ripple effect? Well, like I said in the beginning, the 5 of us on our Twitter followers have about 65 to 70,000 followers. 78 people, a little more than 1%, not even 1/10 of 1% retweeted that post. But those 78 people, what is their reach? What are their followers? How many people are in there? It's countless. I tracked a tweet one time 6 levels down. 6 people, different people retweeted it, and there was an actual string. Not saying that one person retweeted and 6 of his friends. No, one person, and then that person came from somebody else. That person came. I followed it 6 levels one time. You cannot get a better free marketing strategy than to be able to have a tribe syndicate good content to 78 people, or have 78 people retweet. Guys, this is Kim Pickard, the Network Dad. If you are at all interested in what we're doing with our class or with our training sessions or our tribes in general, we all offer a little bit of free mentoring, and we have additional mentoring, and we have a program set up. Definitely follow the link on this page. And guys, we'll talk to you soon. Bye.